So as I look back on my 5 years as president and vice president, it'll be time that I remember fondly, and I'm grateful to have been able to serve. It's not been without a few challenges, though. COVID-19 was a time of uncertainty and anxiety. Planning was almost impossible. We wrestled if we would be able to meet both as a board and a membership. How would we be able to operate and stay safe? How would we conduct business of the association? When would the pandemic be reduced enough to get back to close to business as normal? Well, at this point, I think we came through the pandemic with a few bumps in the road, but also a feeling of resiliency. Our website issues last month was one of the biggest challenges we faced during my presidency. Our association was the victim of a crime, but with the help of a colleague of Phil Maples, Linda Emery, we were able to get through it. Linda is an attorney with a lot of experience in helping organizations such as ours deal with these type of threat actors. Linda's calm demeanor and confident advice gave Vice President Burkett and myself comfort as a trusted advisor. We'll get an update later in the meeting from our CEO, John Meyer, but throughout these next day and a half, please feel free to ask myself, Vice President Burkett, CEO Meyer, COO Warden, if you have any questions or comments or anything to say about that, and we'd be happy to visit with you one-on-one, and that's part of why we're here. In the end, we'll have a lot more robust systems in place, but of course we're never completely immune from these types of attacks. Next, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on governance. And as we had our board retirement dinner, I talked about governance, and I've been thinking a lot about governance as I'm ending my time here as your president. And when I talk about governance, I'm talking about everything involved with governance, whether it be being a delegate, as many of you are, being on the board, being on a committee, or even as a member voting for the delegate body or giving feedback. I think governance is really important. I got in governance for the Holstein USA because I love genetics and I love the Holstein cow. The reality is we make many important decisions that don't have anything to do with genetics. Steering the ship of Holstein USA is vital to be able to make important decisions about our breed. But I'd like to take a moment just to pause on genetics because, again, that's what I'm passionate about. So ultimately, the TPI formula is the most recognized formula in the world to rank Holstein genetics. It's also the most important formula to guide the future of our breed. Somewhere around 12 years ago, a mission statement was created to articulate our vision for the formula, and I just thought it was appropriate to look back on that. TPI is the gold standard in ranking worldwide Holstein genetics, serving as the rudder for the genetic direction of the breed. TPI represents our vision for feeding the world through the improvement of the domestic and international Holstein population, encompassing animals identified in the herd book as well as commercial Holsteins. TPI is not necessarily aimed at breeding individual cows, but rather to advance the entire genetic pool. Holstein USA recognizes and encourages diversity in breeding philosophies to ensure the continual improvement of the Holstein breed globally. I submit that this vision statement is still quite accurate today. Maybe it needs some added verbiage about carbon footprint and feed efficiency. All of us know we're already doing a good job with carbon footprint and feed efficiency. We just need to communicate it better. If we look at the progress the breed has made, we can't help but be in awe of the improvements that we've made. Whether we look at the past 50 years or the past 15 years since the era of genomics, the advancement in Holstein genetics has been amazing. In my last Holstein Pulse article, I wrote about the incredible advances in percent fat and protein in our breed. More than that, what our cows can accomplish today is remarkable. 2-year-olds capable of making 100 pounds of milk, or 110, 120 pounds of milk per day with good percent test while maintaining body condition and getting pregnant all at the same time is a prime example. The positive economic strides in our cows fueled by genetics is impressive. We need to remind ourselves that this success wasn't guaranteed. It came because of many small decisions enabled by governance and the creativity and ingenuity of Holstein dairy farmers, both here in the U.S. and across the world. The success of the U.S. Holstein genetics serves to fuel the success of Holstein genetics worldwide. The foundation for that success starts with Holstein USA and its programs, products, and services. The past 2 years, we've spent a great deal of time working on succession. CEO Meyer will have been at the helm of Holstein USA from 2001 to 2024. The current and future board and incoming CEO, Lindsay Warden, have their work cut out for them. I think they're up to the task, but from my vantage point, the bar is set pretty high. Even though CEO Meyer has 6 months remaining, and he always likes to remind us that he's got a lot of gas in the tank, and he's still got a fire in his belly, and Vice President Burkett and I can definitely relate to that. He's still as passionate as he was, I'm sure, from the day he took the job. I wish to congratulate him on a long, distinguished career. Thanks, John, for all of your good work. Again, he's not going anywhere, so we want to make sure that we realize he's got 6 months left, and as I said, he's as passionate as he's ever been, and he's definitely he's up to the task. So, the past 2 years, we spent a great deal of time working on succession. Throughout this transition planning, Phil Maples served as our facilitator. We had a lot of discussion about the best way to proceed. Lindsay being a strong internal candidate, we decided to interview first before opening the position up to outside candidates. Lindsay knocked the interview out of the park, and the board agreed she earned the position as our next CEO. I would encourage anyone who has questions about this process to visit with any one of my fellow board of directors about what we did. I'm really proud of the work they did and how seriously they took that decision. The gravity of the decision wasn't lost on the board. She's only the 10th person to ever serve as CEO Holstein since 1885 and the first female to serve in the role. And I'd like to add my congratulations to Lindsay as well. The highlight of the past years has been getting to work with a wonderful team. From CEO Meyer and his staff, past President Corey Geiger, current Vice President John Burkett, and the entire board, it's been my privilege. And at our board retirement dinner, I shared with the board that a lot of times the retiring president said, you know, that the board and the incoming president has their full confidence as well as the management. And I thought to myself, I sure hope that I can say that, you know, in good faith. And I'm proud to be able to say that I feel great about the people that are in leadership positions right now. And I think we're in great hands. To my wife, Alicia, and family, thank you for allowing me to take the time to serve. To the delegates and membership, thank you for the confidence you showed in me by electing me your president. Thanks.